It is officially Royal Rumble week, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 picks for the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble, with 10 being the least likely and 1 being the most likely. And in addition to that, I'm going to give a percentage chance to all 10 of them. Let's get into it. At 10, Brock Lesnar with less than a 1% chance. I'd be absolutely stunned if this happened, but with Brock Lesnar, you can never rule him out. And yes, he's been out of WWE for quite a while now, with quite a lot of controversies, but it's been a while. Those are starting to fade out of people's mind a little bit, and they definitely shouldn't, but that is the reality of it. And for some reason, a lot of people think that Brock Lesnar wouldn't return while Triple H is in charge, and that he was purely a Vince McMahon guy, when in actuality, that couldn't be further from the truth. Triple H was a huge Brock Lesnar supporter. He always has been, and when Vince McMahon first left the company in 2022, Triple H fought hard to bring Brock Lesnar back when he wasn't sure about returning. So if Brock wants to return and they think things are calm enough for him to return, unfortunately I do think it could be a possibility, but I do think it's very, very far stretched that he actually does win it. In at number 9, Logan Paul with a less than 1% chance as well. I mean, to me, surely this wouldn't happen, but the betting markets currently have him as the sick favourite, so it's impossible to rule him out. I mean, clearly they think there's a chance here. The thing for me is I cannot see them doing Gunther versus Logan Paul. That's heel versus heel. And I also can't see them doing Cody versus Logan Paul again. And admittedly, Gunther could drop the title before Mania. In fact, I think that's very possible. But Logan Paul winning the Rumble, I think it's very far-fetched. In at number 8, The Rock with a 1% chance. Now, before the Raw on Netflix premiere, he undoubtedly was my favourite to win this entire thing. But he turned up on that show, he shook hands with Cody Rhodes, he ended his beef with Roman, and basically just chucked all these storylines in the bin. So unless that was a swerve, and if it was a swerve, I don't really understand the point in it, then I don't think we're even going to see him at this year's WrestleMania. But like I said, there is that very, very slim chance it could be a swerve, so it's impossible to rule him out completely. In at number 7, Sami Zayn with a 2% chance of winning, and the theory for this is very simple. In the unlikely event that Kevin Owens does defeat Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble to win the WWE Championship, well, immediately Sami Zayn would become favourite to win the Royal Rumble. So this prediction, or this chance, is purely based on that happening, and because I don't think that's going to happen, I'm only giving it a 2% chance. In at number 6, John Cena with a 5% chance. Now currently, John Cena is the odds-on favourite to win the Rumble according to the betting market, but here is why I don't think it will happen. John Cena has said multiple times when referring to this retirement tour that it would be his last ever Royal Rumble match and last ever Elimination Chamber match. Now, why would he be in the Elimination Chamber if he was going to win the Royal Rumble? So is it possible? Yes. Do the betting markets think it will happen? Yes. Do I think it will happen? I think it is unlikely, but you can't rule it out. But I'm refusing to give it more than a 5% chance. This is where we get a bit closer to the realm of possibility, because as you guys know, for months and months, I have been predicting that at WrestleMania it will be McIntyre versus Punk versus Rollins, and possibly even Roman Reigns in either a triple threat or a fatal four-way for the World Heavyweight Championship. And the logic behind this theory is very simply because these guys have been feuding for a year. All their stories have been overlapping, and it is the perfect WrestleMania match. It makes so much sense. Yes, they've got to find a way to get the world title off Gunther, but I do think that is going to happen. So therefore, all three of those guys I do think could win the Rumble, and Drew McIntyre I would say is probably the least likely, but I do think there's a chance. You could have him win the Rumble, have Punk dethrone Gunther in Elimination Chamber, somehow work out a way to get Seth Rollins in there, and bang, you are sorted. Or maybe even have McIntyre win the Rumble and then Seth Rollins win the Chamber, because Punk's beaten them both recently, so then that really would give him justification for joining. Perhaps that'll be the plan. But in at number 4, Seth Rollins with a 10% chance, and the reason I do think there's a 2% chance higher of him winning than McIntyre is very simply because if I am wrong, and Gunther does keep the title until Mania, I can't see them doing Gunther versus McIntyre at WrestleMania, but I could potentially see them doing Gunther Gunther versus Rollins, so it's impossible to rule out Rollins in this one. Before we get into the top 3 picks, please like and subscribe, guys. Here at Wrestling Republic, we create between 5 to 10 free videos every single week, and in addition to that, we also have a live daily stream every single day at 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern in America, and 12 p.m. Pacific in America. Thank you, guys. In at number 3, Roman Reigns at 12%. You can never rule out the Tribal Chief, but especially this year as his WrestleMania plans are so up in the air, and he will definitely be in a marquee match at WrestleMania. There is no doubt about that. And like I said, I could see him being involved in a fatal 4-way with McIntyre, Rollins, and Punk, but I could equally see him run it back with Cody Rhodes for a 3rd year in a row, or see Gunther versus Roman Reigns. All 3 of those are great possibilities, so I do think he has a fair chance. But here is the thing, is he really going to lose again at WrestleMania, or win another championship at WrestleMania? Because especially now he's a part-timer, I can't see him having a world title reign for quite some time. But would he lose 2 WrestleMania main events in a row? I don't know. He could easily take the loss, don't get me wrong, but just would they do it? Probably not, but I do think there's a chance. In at number 2 at 20%, CM Punk, and the betting markets currently have Punk as the 2nd favourite, and I do have to agree on this one. He has done so much in his career, but the 2 things which he has never done is win a Royal Rumble and main event at WrestleMania, and here he has the chance to do both. Like I keep saying, this could lead to the triple threat, or they could just do Gunther versus Punk. That personally would quite frustrate me because I think the triple threat they've been building for so long now, it just makes too much sense to not do. But realistically, they could do Punk versus Gunther, or even Punk versus Cody, because we know those 2 have a lot of history which they haven't necessarily acknowledged on WWE television yet, and that could be very interesting indeed. And in at number 1, my personal favourite for this year's Royal Rumble is Randy Orton. I think there's a 40% chance of this happening. Ever since The Rock's feud with Cody was just simply abandoned, it has been clear to me that the favourite for Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania match has to be against his former mentor, Randy Orton. And with Kevin Owens having written him off TV for months, him coming back during the Royal Rumble for a surprise return and winning it, it just makes too much sense. But I also think a heel turn for Orton in the very near future is inevitable. I think he's going to blame Cody for not coming out to save him when KO was attacking him, and going to say that while he was on the shelf, he realized that everything Kevin Owens was saying about Cody is correct. Maybe he could say that Cody never even reached out to him, or something like that. I don't know, but I could very easily see this being the WrestleMania main event. Plus, if between now and December you give Randy Orton a couple of WWE Championship reigns, then by December, for John Cena's retirement match, you could have Cena versus Orton, with the winner becoming a 17-time champion. I mean, how amazing would that be? But who do you guys predict will win the Men's Royal Rumble? I'd love to hear your predictions in the comments down below. I will be back tomorrow for another video, and I will see you guys then. Peace!